Hi Travel Tribe, Krista here. Today we are going to be talking about how to plan a Disney World vacation. This will give you specific steps that you want to take in order to make sure your vacation is perfect for you and your family. The first thing you want to do is choose your dates. That sounds like a no-brainer, but Disney has seasons all year long. You have the Flower and Garden Festival, you have Food and Wine, you have Christmas, you have different holidays around the different parks in Disney World. You have the marathons, you have cheerleading conventions, you have all of these different things that goes on at Disney World throughout the year. So it's important to know what they are so that you know if you want to attend those things or not. Find out those dates. Then look at your calendar, whether it's your kids' calendar or your calendar for work, and coordinate the best time to go. Whenever you're looking at dates, you also want to get an idea and start thinking about, okay, how many days do I want to actually spend in the park? Y'all, Disney World is the size of Manhattan. You will absolutely get your steps in the entire time you're at Disney World. Have no fear in that. Generally, we take anywhere from 14,000 to 20,000 steps a day, and that's with a midday break. So there's a lot of walking involved. So you need to make sure that you take that in consideration when you plan your trip. Are you wanting to go to all 4 amusement parks? If you are you going to need rest days in between there? Are you going to do, go in the morning, take a midday break, go back at night, and hope that that's enough rest? So those are things you want to take in consideration as you're looking at your dates. The second step is you want to figure out hotel accommodations. You want to make a huge decision if you're going to stay on property or off property. Of course, cost is the biggest factor in here, more times than not. Disney has multiple tiers of hotels that range from deluxe to value. And depending on the time of the year, it might be cheaper to stay on site versus stay off property. When you stay off property, oftentimes they will have resort fees. So make sure that you really read all of that information and get a good idea of how much it's actually going to cost you in the end. You might only have to pay X amount right now, but then you have to pay $70 once you get there. So make sure you just take in consideration and read all the fine print as far as that goes. When you're making your hotel accommodations, on top of budget is your interest. If you're staying on property and you want to go to Magic Kingdom more often than Animal Kingdom, then you would want to stay in a resort that's closest to Magic Kingdom to save time, to save energy. If you want to go to Epcot and Hollywood Studios a lot, there's multiple resorts right there that you can stay at that you're within walking distance to both of those resorts. So make sure you just take in consideration, who's going, what time of the year is it. I personally am not going to want to walk from the Boardwalk Hotel to Hollywood Studios in August. That's just, nope, not my thing. But that's my personal interest. That's my personal agenda and my family. We wouldn't do that. So hotel accommodations are super important. Making that decision if you're going to stay on property or off property. My biggest tip is make sure you read the fine print, or you have your travel agent give you specifics on what you're going to expect when you check in and when you check out. All right, guys, so your next step is to make a daily plan. This is similar to what I was talking about whenever you were talking about choosing your dates. You are going to make a general plan of, okay, as an example, I'm going to be in Disney World for 5 days and I'm staying for 4 nights. So I have a travel day, I have day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5 is a travel day for me. That's how we do it with our family. It just works best. We might go to a dining or Disney Springs before we leave or after we get there on our travel days. But most of the time we don't go to a park on a day that we're traveling. That's just what works for our family. So during this step, this making the daily plan, I'm going to decide in those other days what park I'm going to go to, if I'm going to take a midday break, and kind of a general idea of what I would like my vacation day to look like. Something to take into consideration is if you're staying on property or off property, there might be extra magic hours. And you want to make sure you know about that. If you're staying off property, you don't want to go to Magic Kingdom if there's extra magic hours, because there's already going to be a ton of people there at rope drop. So you want to make sure that you use Disney calendars, Disney resources. There's some bloggers and vloggers. I know my personal favorite is Shannon Albert at WDW Prep School. She has amazing resources with crowd calendars, and get a good idea of what everything is. And on her crowd calendar, it actually tells you when magic hours are and what the operating hours are, when big events are, like the parade, fireworks, things like that. So I use her as a resource 100% of the time. Whenever you're making that daily plan, once you have a good idea of, okay, this is what I want my week to look like, you're going to decide how many park tickets you need off of that. And if you need park hopper. Park hopper isn't necessary per se. It just depends on what you want your week and your vacation to look like. All of Disney World tickets are one park per day unless you buy a park hopper. So let's just pretend that I have a 4-day park ticket without a park hopper, and I go to Magic Kingdom in the morning and I want to go to Epcot at night. It's going to use another park ticket to get into Epcot. So instead of having 4 park tickets, one I use at Magic Kingdom, one I use at Epcot, I only have 2 remaining park days left. I hope that makes sense. So whenever you're looking at your daily plan, that's why it's so important to have a good idea of where you want to be and what you want to do. Because if I know I want to go to Magic Kingdom and Epcot in the same day, I know I need a park hopper. It is far less expensive than it is to buy an extra park day ticket. Okay, so now you have your plan as to what parks you want to go to and what your week's going to look like. The next step you want to do is think about your dining. If you are staying on property at Disney World Resorts and you bought your tickets through Disney World, you can purchase the dining plan. There are multiple tiers. There's something that will fit every family, every budget. It's completely up to you. But y'all, it's a ton of food. It is so much food. So if you're not big eaters, it's probably not going to be the best thing for you and your family. If you like to eat and you like to experience different things, absolutely, get it. It's going to save money for sure. If you're staying off property, it's not an option for you to get the dining plan through Disney. That's not to say that you're not going to have reservations at the restaurants that you want to go to. One of my favorite things about Disney World, whether you're staying on or off property, reservations open 180 days. Y'all, that's 6 months before your travel dates. So if you are planning your vacation a year in advance, 6 months in advance, you can get your reservations you want. Even if you're local, you can make a reservation for Rainforest Cafe at Animal Kingdom up to 6 months before you plan on eating there. And it doesn't matter if you're staying on property. It doesn't even matter if you're staying. It doesn't matter if you're driving through town. That's one of my favorite things about reservations, because we love Disney dining. We love all the restaurants. We love the different atmospheres and meeting different people. It's one of our favorite things. Something to think about if you are going to do the Disney dining plan. Your best use of your dining plan credits will more than likely be character meals. If you have kids or if you just really love meeting the characters like we do, we always use our dining meal credits for character meals. We're able to meet all the characters we want. So when we're in the park, we're not wasting hours waiting on characters because we've already met them while we were eating during our meal. Of course, there's always those few exceptions that you just happen to see and you don't have dining for. So as an example, we went for our anniversary trip a couple of years ago, and we did not do the Crystal Palace breakfast reservation. But when we were in Magic Kingdom, Winnie the Pooh and Tigger were there, so we had to stop and see them, and ended up being one of our absolute favorite character meet and greets that we've ever done. And y'all, it was just me and Mike. There were no kids. We're just big kids. So that's something to take in consideration, is get a good idea of, are you going to eat in the parks? Are you going to eat at Disney restaurants? Are you going to eat off property? I mean, Orlando is a huge city. There's plenty of dining for sure. So get a good plan on where you want to eat and make your reservations based off of where you already said you are. That's probably the most important thing. You already have your tentative plan of where you want to go. So the last thing you want to do is book your day at Epcot, which has hundreds of restaurants and they're absolutely delicious, but then book a reservation at Magic Kingdom for dinner. Like, be smart about it, guys. If you need to move your park days around for a reservation, it's that important to you, absolutely do it. But there's so many options to eat in Disney World, I don't think it's going to be an issue. Okay, so the next step is to make a general plan for how you're going to tour the park. So you see everything you want to see. So what we do whenever we travel with the kids is we make a list of all of the attractions in whatever park we're going to go to. And we have the kids give us a number on how important that ride is to them, because some of them like thrill rides and some of them don't. And we want to do what's best for the most of us. There's 5 of us. So sometimes it's hard for us to make a plan if we don't know where everyone's interest falls in it. That's what works for us. We get a good idea of where we want to go, and then I decide, okay, for example, in Magic Kingdom, we always split the park in half. I always do Tomorrowland and Fantasyland together, Liberty Square, some of it, not a whole lot of it. And then on a different day or later that afternoon when we come back, we'll do the other half of the park. The biggest thing is you want to get a good idea of, let's say you want to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. If you want to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, you need to be there at rope drop unless you have a fast pass. That line gets crazy. So you want to know ahead of time, okay, we have to be there at rope drop. Let's go. Let's get in line for the roller coaster. You also want to take into account the patterns of the crowds. Very few, I say few, it's a lot of people, but in comparison to the day, very few people come to rope drop. So you can get in a lot of rides before the bulk of the crowds come in. Generally, we say 2 to 3 rides per hour. It just depends on where we are and what we're doing and what kind of fast passes we do. The last thing I can recommend in planning your Disney vacation is to add a little extra magic. There's pirate makeovers, there's princess makeovers, there's dessert parties, there's special meet and greet opportunities at the resorts. Just add a little bit of extra magic to your vacation to make it memorable, to keep it separate from the rest of your vacations. For us, we go to Disney a good bit. So for us, we like to have that one special memory from that trip that we will just never ever forget. Our last trip we took last August, and we went to the first Halloween party of the year. And that was our first Halloween party, and it was so much fun. And we went to the dessert party. We had the best time. But I will always remember it as that, because we took and made those special memories by doing that special magic. And it was so much fun for the kids to be able to surprise them with that. So I hope that these steps help you plan your Disney vacation. As always, if you have questions, feel free to comment those down below. We will be happy to help with that. If you are looking to book a Disney vacation and just are overwhelmed with the entire process, we are here to help you. So we are more than willing to sit down with you and get a good idea of what you want out of your vacation and make it the best vacation we can for you. If you would like a quote, or if you would like more information, please shoot us an email, leave us a comment down below, or send us an inbox. We'll be happy to help. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you guys later.